It was a bright Saturday morning, and Ryan woke up to warm the sunlight streaming through the curtains of their luxury penthouse in downtown Seoul. She turned over to see her husband Taehyung already awake and gazing at her with his trademark smile. "Good morning, beautiful," he said, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Good morning," Ryan replied, her heart fluttering as it always did when she saw him. "I have a surprise for you today," Taehyung said, his eyes twinkling with excitement. "A surprise? What is this?" she asked, sitting up in bed. "We are going shopping," he announced. "I cleared my schedule for the day, and I want to spend it with you." Ryan's eyes widened. "Shopping? But you know I don't need anything, Taehyung." "That's the thing," he said, his smile waning today. "It's not about need, it's just about fun. I want to spoil you a little." She knew there was no point in arguing. When the young set his mind on something, he followed through, and truthfully, the idea of spending the day with him, just the two of them, sounded wonderful. A couple of hours later, they arrived at one of Seoul's most exclusive shop districts. The streets was lined with high-end boutiques, each promised luxury and elegance. "Where do we stay? Where do we stay?" Vine asked, feeling a little overwhelmed by the opulence around her. "Let's just walk around and see what catches your eyes," the king suggested, slipping his hand into hers. As they strolled on the street, Ryan could not help but feel a little self-conscious. She was dressed in a simple yet elegant outfit, but compared to the designer cloth from her, she felt out of place. The young seemed to sense her discount and gave her hand a reassuring squeeze. "You look stunning," he whispered in her ear. "Don't worry about anyone else." They entered the first boutique, a store specialized in male designer handbags. Ryan's eyes were immediately drawn to a display to intricately crafted bags, each one a work of art. "Would you like any of these?" the young asked, watching her intently. "They are beautiful," she admitted, running her fingers over a particularly elegant one. "Then we will take this one," he said to the Saul's associate. "What? No, the young's. I was just looking," Ryan protested. "Exactly," he replied with a grin. "You looked at it, so I am buying it for you." The sales associate smiled knowingly as she rang up the purchase. Ryan felt a little impressed, but also touched by the young's gesture. As they continued their shopping spree, the young's generosity knew to bound every time Ryan gaze lingered on an item, whether it was a stunning dress, a pair of shoes, or a piece of jewelry. The youngs bought it for her without hesitation. "Taehyung, this is too much," Ryan said as they left yet another boutique, her arms laden with bags. "Nonsense," he replied, kissing her forehead. "I love seeing you happy. Beside, it's just money. What's important is you." They entered a luxury jewelry store next. Ryan's eyes were drawn to a delicate diamond necklace displayed in a velvet-lined case. "That one is exclusive," Taehyung said, following her gaze. "It's beautiful," Ryan agreed, "but it's too much. I don't need it." Taehyung turned to the jeweler. "We will take the necklace." The young Ryan exclaimed, but he silenced her with a gentle kiss. "Trust me," he whispered. "You deserve all of this and more." As the day went on, Ryan began to relax and enjoy herself. The young's enthusiasm was infectious, and she could not help but be swept up in the magic of the day. They laughed together, tried on clothes, and shared sweet moments that she would Cherish forever. In one store, while Fona stunning in evening gown, she tied it on and stepped out of the fitting room, feeling like a princess. Taehyung's eyes lit up when he saw her. You look breathtaking, he said, his voice full of admiration. Thank you, she replied, blushing, but where would I even wear something like this? I will take you somewhere special, he promised, but for now, let's get it. Ryan could not help but smile. The young's love and devotion were evident in every gesture, and she felt incredibly lucky to have him in her life. After hours of shopping, they finally decided to take a break at a charming cafe. They sat at the table by the window, sipping coffee and enjoying the view of bustling street outside. Thank you for today, the young Swain said, reaching across the table to hold his hand. I had an amazing time. Anything for you, he replied, his eyes sparkling with love. I just wanted to make you happy. You always do, she said softly, but today was really special. I will never forget it. As they walked back to their car, laden with bags and memories, Ryan could not help but feel a little overwhelmed by Taehyung's generosity. Taehyung, can I ask you something? She said, stopping to face him. Of course, anything, he replied, his expression serious. Why do you do all this? The shopping, the gift, everything? Taehyung looked deep into her eyes. Because I love you, Ryan. You mean everything to me. I want to give you the word because you deserve it, and because saying you happy in the greatest joy in my life. Ryan felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. She threw her arms around him, holding him tightly. I love you too, Taehyung, she whispered, more than anything. He hugged her back, and for a moment they stood there, lost in their own world. As they drove home, Ryan looked at the youngs, her heart full of love and gratitude. She knew that their life together was more than just luxury and wealth. It was about the love they shared, the moments they created, and the memories they cherished. They cherished. And as long as they had each other, she knew they could face anything together. Back at their penthouse, the young helped Simon carry the bags inside. They spent the rest of the evening unpacking and admiring their purchases. Fian modeled some of the clothes, and the young's applicative gaze mood made her feel like the most beautiful woman in the world. Later, as they sat on the couch, ecstatic but happy, the young turned to her with a mischievous grin. What's that look for? Ian asked, raising an eyebrow. I was just thinking, he said, pulling her close. We should do this more often. Ryan laughed. I don't think my wardrobe could handle it. Then we will buy a bigger closet, he replied, his eyes twinkling. You are impossible, she said, kissing him on the cheek. And you love it, he teased. I do, she admitted. I really do. As they settled into bed that night, Ryan reflected on the day. She knew that their life was not always going to be perfect and that there would be challenges and obstacles, but with the youngs by her side, she felt ready to face anything. Good night, my love, the young said, his voice soft and full of affection. Good night, the young, Ryan replied, snuggling close to him.